You can't. You coming to save us? They coming to save us?
Yeah, please. Please, I'm off this bitch. Oh my granny, I don't play with shit like this.
Oh, that shit is hurt. I'm gonna pull up this. Hell yeah, that shit hurt.
Please. It's stuck. The anchor's stuck. The anchor's stuck. Help. They fucking.
They went past us.
He's talking about when it's dangerous location.
Stop the boat. It's a boat. They can't just stop and walk across the street.
On June 21st, 2025, a popular Chicago hairstylist named Zahrie Walls, better known as Z Money, boarded a rented yacht near Navy Pier during an unofficial event weekend that drew dozens of boats to Lake Michigan. By the end of that same afternoon, she was dead. Reports say she went overboard around 5:30 p.m. in the middle of a packed boat, surrounded by friends, loud music, and alcohol. She wasn't wearing a life jacket. The lake's surface appeared calm, but undercurrents ran deep. Emergency responders pulled her body from the water shortly after. She was unresponsive, declared dead at the hospital. Witness accounts vary. Some say she slipped. Others claim she leaned over to vomit. One suggests she was involved in a heated exchange before going overboard. No security footage exists. No videos captured the exact moment she fell. And despite the number of people on board, no clear explanation has been given. The incident occurred during a heat wave that already strained emergency services. It wasn't part of the official Black Yacht Weekend, according to organizers, but it sparked new concerns about recreational boating safety, overcrowding, alcohol use, and accountability when young women die under unexplained circumstances. Zahrie's family has asked for answers. Her mother stated that Zahrie couldn't swim and always feared deep water. She questions why proper safety measures weren't enforced and why none of Zahrie's friends could give a straight answer. The investigation remains open, but the silence surrounding the incident is growing louder. What really happened on that boat? Who was responsible for safety? And why has no one stepped forward with proof of what took place? This case isn't just about drowning. It's about what's missing: evidence, accountability, and the truth.
I want to thank all you guys for coming out for my baby. I knew she was special when I first gave birth to her. I was only 19 years old. I just knew I didn't want my baby to struggle the way I did. I supported her in every way. She left a legacy. At 27 years old. You did a good job. You did a good job. She only had the opportunity to be 27 years old for 3 months. I'm trying not to question God, but it hurts so bad. But I know one thing, my baby loved me.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yes. My baby loved me, and she knew I loved her. She loved creating stuff so that I could start acting crazy. My God did. Get my mom. She called me King Lolo when I was acting crazy. I don't know how I'm gonna bear. I don't.
Look, on the count of 5, we will say forever Zahrie. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Stay with us as we unravel this shocking story and uncover the heartbreaking details of what led to this senseless loss. If you enjoy real crime stories that uncover the truth, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us share real cases, spread awareness, and give a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? And what are your thoughts as the story unfolds? Welcome to True Crime Tales, where we reveal the crimes that shock communities and the secrets hidden behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's begin. Zahrie Walls, known publicly as Z Money, was a 27-year-old hairstylist and entrepreneur based in Chicago. She had built a strong professional reputation as the owner of Z Style Suites, a successful salon catering to high-profile clients and everyday customers alike. Walls was widely recognized not just for her skills with hair, but also for her entrepreneurial drive, stylish branding, and digital influence. On social media, she maintained an active presence with over 75,000 combined followers on Instagram and Facebook. She frequently posted client transformations, tutorials, and lifestyle content that attracted a loyal audience. Her brand image was polished, professional, and aligned with the vibrant nightlife and beauty culture of Chicago. Friends and family described her as focused, driven, and cautious. Despite her outgoing public image, Zahrie was known to be mindful of personal safety. One of the notable facts about her was that she could not swim. According to her mother, Kizzy Wells, Zahrie had spoken openly about this limitation and was vocal in reminding others to be cautious in or around large bodies of water. Walls maintained a close relationship with her mother, who was not only her emotional support system, but also a key witness to Zahrie's rise as a beauty industry figure. The two frequently shared milestones, and Kizzy was one of the first family members to speak out following the tragedy. On the morning of June 21st, 2025, Zahrie Walls was preparing for a boat outing as part of Chicago's informal celebration known as Black Yacht Weekend. This event is not officially sponsored, but is recognized by many in the local Black community as a time to enjoy boat rentals, lakefront gatherings, and social networking during the summer. Walls made plans with a group of friends and acquaintances to board a rented yacht docked near Navy Pier. She reportedly left her home in good spirits, according to her mother. By the afternoon, Zahrie and others boarded the vessel. The exact number of people on the yacht has not been publicly confirmed. Videos later surfaced showing passengers socializing, dancing, and drinking. Zahrie is briefly visible in some of the clips, appearing calm and engaged. 5 to 5:15 p.m. Witness accounts during this time frame indicate the boat was crowded, especially near the rear deck. Music was playing at high volume, and passengers were consuming alcohol. No life jackets were visible in any of the footage posted online. At approximately 5:30 p.m., witnesses report that Zahrie fell into Lake Michigan. The exact cause of her fall remains disputed. Some claim she leaned over the rail and lost balance. Others suggest she may have slipped or stumbled. There were also unverified claims that she was involved in a verbal argument prior to going overboard. None of these scenarios have been officially confirmed by law enforcement. 5:35 to 5:50 p.m. Following her fall, panic broke out among those on board. At least 2 individuals jumped into the lake in an attempt to locate and rescue her. Emergency services were called. Bystanders on nearby boats reportedly attempted to assist, but the initial rescue efforts were unsuccessful. 6 p.m. Zahrie was pulled from the water unresponsive. Rescue crews immediately began life-saving procedures and rushed her to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. 6:45 p.m. She was officially pronounced dead at the hospital. Authorities listed drowning as a preliminary cause of death. A full autopsy was ordered. June 21st, 2025, was marked by extremely hot temperatures in Chicago, with a heat wave warning issued earlier that weekend. These conditions contributed to large crowds along the lakefront and heavy boat activity on Lake Michigan. Though the surface of Lake Michigan appeared calm that afternoon, emergency responders later reported that dangerous undercurrents were present. These conditions have been linked to several drownings in the region, especially among inexperienced swimmers or individuals without life jackets. Preliminary reports noted several safety oversights during the outing. No evidence of life jackets being distributed or worn by passengers. Potential overcapacity of the rented vessel. Alcohol was visible in videos recorded before and after the incident. No onboard lifeguards or safety staff were present. These factors are being considered in the broader investigation into how Zahrie fell and why she was not immediately rescued. Lake Michigan is known for its deceptively calm appearance. Many previous drowning cases have involved individuals being pulled under by rip currents or exhausted due to panic. Chicago authorities have repeatedly warned boaters and swimmers about these hazards, especially during high-traffic weekends. Despite this, enforcement of safety regulations on recreational boats remains inconsistent. At the time of this report, the official cause of Zahrie's death remains listed as an accidental drowning. However, the investigation is still open. The Chicago Police Department and U.S. Coast Guard are involved in reviewing the case. No foul play has been officially confirmed or ruled out. No surveillance footage has surfaced, showing the exact moment Zahrie fell overboard. Cell phone videos posted online began after the incident had occurred. This lack of visual evidence has made it difficult to reconstruct the full chain of events. Family members continue to demand transparency and accountability. Zahrie's mother, Kizzy Wells, has called for a complete witness list, toxicology results, and a full investigation into the safety procedures of the yacht rental company involved. Do you think negligence played a role in her death? Why was no one able to stop her fall in time? Should life jackets be legally required on recreational boats? Was there more happening on that boat than what's being shared publicly? Do you believe all the witnesses have come forward, or is someone hiding key information? In the aftermath, witness statements collected by media outlets and law enforcement were inconsistent. Some individuals claimed that Zahrie slipped. They reported that the deck was wet, crowded, and chaotic. Others told a different version, alleging that she leaned over the railing to vomit, possibly from drinking or motion sickness. Another unnamed source hinted that an argument may have taken place shortly before she fell. That account suggested elevated voices were heard at the rear of the boat moments before the incident, but no physical confrontation was directly reported. Despite these discrepancies, no one has been able to provide a clear, unified version of events. Not one of the individuals on board could definitively explain how Zahrie entered the water. The boat had several passengers at the time, yet none prevented the fall. This leads to a central question in the case. Why was no one able to stop her from going overboard, especially in a tightly packed environment? Furthermore, boat owners or staff present have not reported any verbal or physical altercations. There is no official record confirming that a fight occurred, and no evidence submitted that supports claims of a struggle. The lack of concrete witness consensus only deepens suspicion and complicates efforts to determine the truth. Another major obstacle in this case is the complete absence of visual evidence. The rented boat did not have surveillance cameras on board. There were no mounted security devices on the vessel capturing the deck or railing areas. In a setting where dozens of people were taking photos and videos, it is significant that no clip shows the actual moment Zahrie went overboard. There is also no known nearby marina or public dock surveillance camera that covered the boat's location on the lake during the time of the incident. The yacht was not docked when the fall occurred, limiting the chance that shoreline cameras could capture the incident. Several cell phone recordings emerged on social media after the fact. These clips document the confusion, the sound of people screaming, and efforts by passengers to locate or retrieve Zahrie from the water. However, they were taken after she had already fallen. None of the videos include visual proof of what caused her to go overboard. This lack of documentation raises serious questions about witness credibility. In an era where nearly every public moment is filmed, the absence of primary footage leads many to speculate whether individuals intentionally deleted content or chose not to come forward. It also creates a vacuum where theories and speculation thrive, further distancing the case from resolution. Key aspects of the emergency response remain underdocumented or unclear. According to statements given to media, someone on the boat dialed 911 shortly after Zahrie was seen in the water. However, the identity of the caller has not been made public, and the length of time between her fall and the call is unknown. Eyewitnesses reported that a few passengers jumped into Lake Michigan in an attempt to rescue her. It is unclear whether these attempts were structured or based on panic. What is confirmed is that Zahrie was eventually retrieved from the water by rescue personnel or bystanders, but was already unresponsive when brought back on board. There has been no official confirmation regarding whether CPR was administered immediately after she was pulled from the lake or only upon arrival at the hospital. Northwestern Memorial Hospital reported her as deceased after resuscitation attempts failed, but the timeline between her recovery from the lake and her hospital admission remains vague. Another area of concern is safety compliance prior to the launch of the boat. Reports indicate that Zahrie was not wearing a life jacket. In fact, several sources confirm that most passengers on the boat had no life vests on, and that safety instructions were either not provided or ignored. The company responsible for renting the yacht has not issued a statement detailing the safety briefing given, if any. Delays in confirming her identity and notifying the family added another layer of frustration. Her mother, Kizzy Wells, was reportedly informed by a third party before any official communication. These delays suggest disorganization in both rescue operations and victim identification protocols. The initial investigation was handled by the Chicago Police Department in conjunction with the U.S. Coast Guard. Preliminary reports ruled Zahrie's death an accidental drowning. However, growing public interest and pressure from the family have caused the case to remain open as of this writing. Police have not officially declared foul play, but inconsistencies in eyewitness statements have kept speculation alive. The Coast Guard has not cited any operator violations publicly, nor have they disclosed findings from interviews with other boat passengers. The case has not led to any arrests or civil lawsuits. No charges of negligence or safety violation have been filed against the boat's owner, operator, or the rental company. Without surveillance footage, reliable timelines, or physical evidence, authorities have limited grounds to pursue criminal or civil charges unless new information surfaces. Public pressure continues to grow, with hashtags and social media campaigns calling for further investigation. The family has hinted at taking legal action or demanding an independent review. So far, no court proceedings have begun, and no updates have been issued regarding potential reopening or escalation of the case. In the days following the death of 27-year-old celebrity hairstylist Zahrie, Z Money Walls, her family took a public stance demanding accountability and clarity. Her mother, Kizzy Wells, addressed local media outlets and social media platforms with a clear message. Her daughter did not die simply by accident. According to Wells, Zahrie was hardworking, cautious, and highly aware of her own limitations, especially when it came to water safety. She made it known to those close to her that she could not swim and avoided deep water activities without proper safety gear. The fact that she reportedly wasn't wearing a life vest on June 21st, 2025, when she went overboard, raised immediate concerns to the family. Wells described her daughter as deeply driven, someone who built a successful brand from scratch and maintained a tight schedule of 10 to 12 clients daily. In her view, Zahrie was someone who did not take unnecessary risks. Her decision to attend a summer yacht event on Lake Michigan, therefore, must have come with the assumption of a safe environment and responsible companions. Wells also connected the tragedy to a painful memory. Zahrie's close friendship with Kenneka Jenkins, a 19-year-old woman who was found dead inside a hotel freezer in 2017 after a party in Rosemont, Illinois. That case, still surrounded by speculation, was cited as a precedent in which authorities provided vague answers and witnesses remained silent. For Wells, history appeared to be repeating itself. In the wake of Zahrie's death, community support surged. Friends, clients, and strangers took to Instagram, Facebook, and Threads to share condolences, prayers, and demands for truth. Vigils were held. Hashtags began to spread. The pressure on authorities grew. Zahrie's death immediately drew comparisons to other suspicious or under-investigated deaths in Chicago's recent history. Chief among them was the case of Kenneka Jenkins, whose body was discovered in a hotel freezer at the Crown Plaza Hotel in 2017. That incident also involved a young black woman, party-related confusion, conflicting witness testimonies, and limited video evidence. In both cases, the public expressed mistrust toward the police's official explanation. With Jenkins, theories of negligence cover-ups and foul play circulated widely, many of which remain unresolved years later. The similarity with Zahrie's situation was hard to ignore. Both were social figures with active networks. Both died in public, semi-controlled environments. And in both cases, critical video surveillance was either missing or inconclusive. This pattern has reinforced broader public concerns about how cases involving young black women are investigated, reported, and sometimes dismissed. In addition to social parallels, the physical setting of Zahrie's death, Lake Michigan, has a dark history of its own. Over the past decade, Lake Michigan has been the site of numerous unexplained drownings, many occurring during high-traffic weekends in summer. Despite warnings from local authorities and first responders about strong currents and unpredictable water conditions, little appears to have changed in terms of prevention or enforcement. Public conversations also began questioning the culture of celebration weekends, such as Black Yacht Weekend. These events are not officially sponsored or regulated by the city, yet they draw large crowds and increase activity on the lake. With more boats on the water, louder parties, and higher alcohol consumption, the potential for disaster rises. And yet, the same lax safety standards persist. Social media platforms quickly became the battleground for information, speculation, and demand for accountability in Zahrie's case. TikTok creators and true crime bloggers dissected the timeline, scrutinized eyewitness accounts, and shared theories of what might have happened on board the rented boat. Many emphasized the lack of video footage documenting the actual fall. Although there were videos circulating showing chaos and crowding on the boat after the incident, nothing captured the key moment Zahrie went overboard. This absence of documentation sparked new questions. Who was on the boat? Why haven't they spoken publicly? Did anyone have their phones recording at the time? Viewers and commentators pushed for authorities to release a full list of passengers, analyze all available phone records, and conduct toxicology reports, not just on the victim, but on everyone on board. Influencers and public figures in Chicago's beauty and nightlife community also began reposting Zahrie's final Instagram story. For some, it offered no clues. For others, it was a chilling timestamp, evidence that she was alive, smiling, and unaware of what would come next. Hashtag campaigns like hashtag Justice for Z Money and hashtag What Happened to Zahrie started trending on Twitter and Instagram. Posts ranged from genuine grief to calls for action. While mainstream outlets published basic reports, the majority of discourse and emotional reaction unfolded online. A recurring theme across public forums was the question of responsibility. Who failed to prevent this? Where were the safety protocols? The boat involved was reportedly part of a weekend rental, typical for events like Black Yacht Weekend, but often operating without serious oversight. In many cases, these rentals skip in-depth safety briefings, allow more passengers than recommended, and do not enforce life vest usage. Witness reports indicate that there was drinking on board, and that Zahrie was not wearing a flotation device. These facts alone raise red flags regarding the rental company, the boat operator, and the event's organizers. Another point of criticism was the informal nature of Black Yacht Weekend itself. Unlike city-sponsored events with permits and safety coordinators, Black Yacht Weekend is a grassroots, community-led gathering. This means no central authority exists to enforce rules, verify boat capacities, or provide emergency preparedness. Critics argue that the city of Chicago should take more responsibility. If massive gatherings are expected annually, they say, then emergency policies, patrols, and preventative measures should be standardized and enforced. Some have even suggested that renting companies be required to install surveillance cameras on all yachts over a certain size, especially during high-traffic weekends. In Zahrie's case, these oversights may have cost a life, and unless systemic changes are made, many fear this won't be the last time. This case has stirred widespread concern due to lack of video evidence, the unclear witness accounts, and the silence from many of those who were present during the incident. Now, let's examine the unresolved aspects of this case, the current state of the investigation, and what's known versus what's missing. Who rented the yacht? As of now, the identity of the individual or group who rented the vessel remains undisclosed. Authorities have not released this detail publicly. It is unclear whether the yacht was rented under Zahrie's name, a friend's, or an event organizer's. No official leasing documentation has been shared by police or boat rental companies. Were the boat operators licensed? There has been no confirmation on whether a licensed captain or crew was on board. Some reports suggest the boat was piloted by a civilian, possibly someone in the friend group. If true, this raises legal concerns about vessel operation compliance. In Illinois, a boat carrying paying passengers must be operated by a U.S. Coast Guard licensed captain. If that regulation was violated, criminal negligence could be at play. Was alcohol provided by crew or passengers? Multiple witness accounts from social media and bystanders confirmed that alcohol was being consumed during the trip. However, the source is still unknown. It remains unclear whether alcohol was brought on board by attendees or provided by the rental company. If the latter, that could constitute an illegal distribution violation, depending on the licensing status of the boat's operator. Was her fall recorded by anyone who hasn't come forward? No known footage captures the moment Zahrie went overboard. Numerous cell phones were present, and people were filming before and after the incident. However, no footage showing the exact circumstances of her fall has surfaced. The absence of such documentation has created speculation that someone may be withholding evidence. Law enforcement has not confirmed whether any phones were confiscated or whether they are seeking digital forensics assistance to recover deleted footage. Why hasn't an official report with full witness names been released? At the time of recording, no full police report with verified witness statements or names has been made public. This delay is reportedly due to an ongoing investigation. Still, transparency advocates argue that without these names, it's difficult to confirm who was on the boat, what they saw, or whether they have any connections that could lead to bias or suppress testimony. The Chicago Police Department has publicly asked for additional witnesses to come forward. However, with many passengers reportedly deleting posts, refusing interviews, or remaining silent, progress has stalled. No arrests have been made. No persons of interest have been named. Zahrie's mother, Kizzy Wells, has stated in multiple interviews that the family is considering a civil lawsuit. The legal action could target the boat rental company for negligence or the event's informal organizers for failing to provide life jackets or enforce safety protocols. The lawsuit would likely seek damages and compel testimony from uncooperative witnesses through court orders. The U.S. Coast Guard has confirmed it is reviewing boating activity around Navy Pier that weekend. This includes a broader audit of licenses, safety briefings, and emergency response practices. There are questions about whether overcrowding, insufficient life jackets, or inexperience among vessel operators played a role in the tragedy. This case has put pressure on the city of Chicago to reevaluate its recreational boating safety regulations. Events like Black Yacht Weekend, although unofficial, often result in dozens of private rentals. The city may consider acquiring more oversight, including stricter licensing checks, mandatory flotation enforcement, and limits on alcohol consumption during high-traffic weekends. What's known? Zahrie Walls went overboard during a yacht ride near Navy Pier on June 21st, 2025. She was not wearing a life jacket. She was pulled unresponsive from Lake Michigan and pronounced dead later that day. Alcohol was present on the boat. No video footage has surfaced showing the fall. Witness accounts are inconsistent and incomplete. What's still missing? Autopsy results. No toxicology or official cause of death findings have been publicly released. Full witness interviews. Police have not disclosed names, statements, or summaries from those on board. Surveillance or phone footage. There is no video confirming what happened in the moments before she went into the water. Until these pieces are provided, Zahrie's death remains unresolved, not necessarily in terms of whether she drowned, but how it happened and whether it could have been prevented. Without accountability, unanswered questions remain. Do you believe this was an accident, or is something being hidden? Why do you think no one captured the moment on video? Should boat renters be legally responsible for enforcing life jacket use? What would you do if your friend disappeared on a crowded boat and no one could explain how? Is this another case of negligence being overlooked because the victim was a young black woman? If you found this story as gripping and heartbreaking as we did, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. And if you want to hear more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind these tragic events, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest stories, updates, and discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey to seek justice and explore the truth. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.